okay, I'm Angela. So yes, I'm from France, and yes, as I was saying, I was a professional dancer, and it's nice to hear from your point of view, because as a dancer, we are built to be really confident pretty early. We are built to have that body a certain way, and that's the way you're going to have to work all your life for it, and a lot of pressure, a lot of audition, always in competition, always. So it's a really mentally really hard work, and it's one of the I mean, it's a passion at first, I think, for everybody that's been dancers, but it become really something strong to a point where, like, you know, I did, half of my life doing that, and if not more, you know. I was a dancer at 3 years old, and I finished when I was 30. I was like, I'm done with the business, I'm done with that industry, I'm tired of the superficial point of view of that. I need to have a family. I was with my now husband for a while, and we were like, want to have a baby, let's try. My son, I was in my, I was like 29, 30 when I had my first kid, and I would had him in France. And when I had him in France, we have a midwife who's taking care of us during the whole pregnancy to make sure we're doing right with our body, we're preparing for the pregnancy, so you're doing gym in the pool, she look at your pelvis floor to make sure everything is, she put that finger in there to make sure everything is fine. So, you know, so preparing, birth, everything went fine, nothing to do, and then you go after to that same midwife to make sure that you are healed and everything's going well. And as a dancer, you know, she was saying, oh, let's work on your pelvis floor to make sure you're fine. I'm like, of course I'm fine. Dancer, I know all my muscles. So she's like, okay, go ahead. Again, putting that finger in there, making sure I'm squeezing in, and I'm like, haha, and she's like, no, you're doing everything wrong. You're just pushing away, you know, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And that work takes a lot of time. Like, it's like to learn to, you know, sucking it up, really not pushing but pulling, feeling those transverses, like the deeper muscle of your abs getting engaged, before you have everything else. My body was everything superficial. I have the beautiful abdominals, I look great, but I am not in the back, it was just not happening. And if she wasn't doing that, I would have never guessed, like never. I would have been like, so it made me totally change. It gave me all those exercises, breathing, the breathing being really important with that connection. And so it made me really humble. It's like, okay, I get it. And then when I came back to, with my son, and we had a house in Newburgh with my husband, and I came back to the city, and I saw a friend of mine. When I was dancer, I was seeing that chiropractor, and his wife was working kind of physical therapy and kind of Pilates at that time. It wasn't called Pilates, but it was already that work. And then she became really having a big studio with a lot of machines and all. And she was like, Angela, you need to try, and I want you to be an instructor. Never did Pilates. Like, I was like, I did Pilates actually in my dance school, and I was in Alvin Ailey, and I was a teacher, and I was like, I hate Pilates. That sucks. That's boring. I don't get it. I don't like it. She said, try the reformer. You'll see. You're gonna love it. I tried a reformer. I tried with her. I tried with another friend of mine who was a trainer there. I mean, a teacher there, and I was like, wow, it's everything I learned with the midwife. It's all that connection of your pelvis floor, your transverse, and getting the deep, going from the inside towards the outside. And I'm like, wow, it's exactly what I'm
dreaming all along.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like, well, now I'm learning about myself, like my true self, and so I was like, I love it. And then to work with that, to keep working, and there's other machines. I'm saying reformer because it's one of the main machines we have that's kind of fun, and I bring that awareness, and that made me understand the mat work that I used to do as a student. And I was like, it's not that I didn't like Pilates, it's just my instructor wasn't good. She just wasn't good because, you know, I was like, oh, I'm flexible, I can bring my leg here, I can do that, oh, it's easy, look, I touch my toes, and like super proud. And she would look at me and be like, instead of saying, no, that's not the point, limit yourself, that's the thing, you know how to do that, that's the contrary, now you need to work. And I wish I had that instructor at that time saying, because you work on your center, which it's great for dancer, but if it was just to be like, she don't get it because she's not mature, because that was a thing, I wasn't mature enough at that time. And that's where I was missing from a dance instructor. And to me, that was a lesson that I was, when I'll be an instructor, if I do want to do that, I will not be like that. I want to make sure everybody feel they can do it. You are looking great, good for you, but I mean, there's something else you can work on. And so my focus was really to try to do that. So that really made me understand. And same. It was also to see people getting a little bit of that confidence when they're starting to see, the little change. So I wasn't about so much for me anymore. Like I used to be about the physique and how you look. Then becoming a man, and then my son is 14, and I have my second one who's now nine. I'm in my 40s.
Look good, girl, boo.
Thank you so much. but what it is that I don't know if I look good, but I feel good, and I feel
that's important.
And my number one is not about just I look. Yeah, I don't look like I was when I was 20, and you know what? I learned to be okay. I have been a mom. My body changed, our hips changed, and it's always that thing of explaining to the clients, and even more when they were mom or new mom, is like it's okay, accept where you are at that moment. Don't try to go back. You'll be probably good, even maybe better, but you'll be different. And you have to accept that in your path. So that's really for me was like acceptance. Then when you get that acceptance, then you're gonna get that confidence and then that inside strength. And then I met Curtis. I was sometimes with my kids, I was doing the taekwondo that was like kind of fit, like I was feeling like, I'm doing cardio now. And then with the pandemic, doing on the virtual, that wasn't working for me and wasn't working for us. So we stopped that, but then I was missing that cardio part that we don't really have in Pilates. That's not really the goal. So, and I wasn't dancing as much. I take some dance class sometimes, but still is making different muscle work a different way. And I was like, I need to prepare to do some biking because during the confinement, I was doing a lot of bike. And I'm like, I was asking Curtis, like, do you think you can help me to reveal to be prepared to bike again? And then I did personal training with him, and I'm not a gym person. I don't go to gym as a dancer. It is like, the fitness people is not, we're not fitness. So I was really that thing of being like, I don't see myself in a gym, but then I was like, let me try. Like I could see how he was working, and this kid is smart, so I want to work with him. And then I truly enjoy it, and I'm like, and it's a different type of muscle getting engaged, and I was like, okay, I feel it, like I can, and same, that confidence of being like, I feel strong, and I feel like, and it's okay if I can't do that now, but I know I might be able to do it at some point, and it's going to help me with that. So, again, it was like, nice, that confidence, that confidence is necessary. I want to make my client to be confident. I want to keep being confident, being strong. As women, we have to have that, that certitude that we are strong and we're fine. It's not, and it's not just about the look, it's also how you feel and what you're going to project.
Yes.
And I think so. And again, I don't know if you guys had that, but how many clients I had was like, you should, not client, people that I see and say, you should try Pilates if when they talk and say, you're Pilates, I say, yeah, you should come and try. Oh no, I don't have the body for that. And I'm like, what does that mean? The body for doing what?
They're uneducated. They're uneducated.
And first they'll be like, well, first there's no body for that, and then if you want a body a certain way, maybe I can help you with that, or if that's your goal. But I will always ask, what is your goal? It could be from trying to be better from an injury. It could be losing weight, where you back to what you were saying, which is not limited to the exercise. It's going to be change your style, which the GRINDapp I think can help with that. You're going to have to eat better. You're going to have to, have kind of a schedule of what you should do to get better. But you can't just put the pressure on one instructor to change your. No,
exactly. And they do that, and I think that's important because they do that a lot. There's like, if you're going to train me as a personal trainer, am I going to see results? That's up to you. If you're going to see results, if you listen and you follow instructions, and depending how determined you are, you'll see results. But it really is up to you at this point. I'm just giving you instructions. I'm giving you tools. You have to use those tools that I give you.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, and don't put your goal, you can put your goal too high, but still be, in a certain level of
reality.
Because I remember 2 clients who came, that's why, because I used to have a studio, another place in Newburgh. I remember the beginning, and they came and they were like, so we heard like Madonna, she's doing Pilates, and we want to be like Madonna. You say Madonna? I don't know if I pronounce it well. The singer, Madonna?
Oh,
Madonna. So we want to be like Madonna. And I'm like, okay, there's no pressure at all. I'm like, well, you need to understand, she has a lot of money, so she can have a personal trainer every single day, every single hour she wants. And then the one thing I tell them too, and I say, yes, she's looked the way she looked after having kids, but first, because she has that knowledge, she can do it safely. But even if she wasn't doing it safely, you would never know what's going on with her. And that's the one thing, that's the one thing I'm saying. Don't go to rush, after like a lot of women after pregnancy. I want to be right away where I am. Don't rush it, because you can have serious injury. Like you can really have your pelvic floor so lax and so not strong that your organs will go down. Like, I always say, maybe Madonna around the 60s, she's going to start pooping on herself, and you won't know, because that's not what they're going to tell you. The superstars, they look a certain way, but you don't know what's behind that, because it has to be.
And they're also not going to know. They be paying for that stuff.
Yeah.
They pay for that stuff. They go and get sculpting and all these type of surgeries, and they pay for a lot of stuff. So when you see these girls with these little waists and they big thighs and they big butt, just know they pay. Listen, I found out so much these last couple of months. I'm like, that's what they do? That's what you do? And they putting me on. And I'm like, I'm here working hard and stuff for what I got. Yeah. And you just going to the clinic.
No, and that's the thing, is that feeling of cheating. And then at the end, for me, it's like, and do not worry, even if it's not getting to that point that your body doesn't get, because with hormones, with a lot of things, sometimes the body, that doesn't make you not strong, that doesn't make you not beautiful. It's just, there's a point where you're going to have to start accepting, if you see, okay, that's where I am. And that's where you might probably will feel some change. It's when you start accepting and be like, okay, I'm okay where I am, suddenly something's going to release, and something's going to be like, the weight will lose just because your mind is suddenly in that place.
And it also starts when you're young. So when I have my girls, and I teach them as well when I'm instructing them how to work out. However, I also give them a lecture, and they know I like to talk, so I'd be like, and they'd be like, all right. And but I also let them know that confidence is key. Yeah. Be confident in yourself. You're not going to look like me. I'm not going to look like you. You're not going to look like the girl on TV. Be confident with yourself. And if you're not happy with yourself, then you do it for you, to make you happy. Don't be trying to do it because you don't look like that girl, or this boy said this to you.
Thank you.
And then don't do that. I understand there's a trend going around with big butts and tight abs. Listen, honey, if you ain't got a big butt like her, that's fine. Deal with your little butt. Like, love your little butt.
Love it, but you have to
love your little butt.
First.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why a part of my program is, I was sharing this with Kurt, is mental development.
Yeah,
I do mental development because my thing is not all about just losing weight. It's building strength here, and also building strength here.